Alright, Stockholm's ComicCon is around the corner, and it is time to get prepped. Intro music. Alright, so if you guys don't know me, I am Enrique Perez and this is Engineer in Art, a channel that I dedicate to my art journey in general. I am a software engineer. I really had a passion for art, a passion for both things. So far, I've been able to juggle both of them. I spent a year as a game developer in my current company, and then I switched to game art, which I'm currently a game artist. And I'm really happy about it. There are completely different ways of working too. So it's just, expanding my horizon, my skill set. So far, so good. But anyways, I've also started to table at Comic-Cons. Last year was a great experience. It was the first time I tabled. I made a whole feedback and tips video last year that you can check somewhere in my channel. I'll put a link to it. And yeah, in general, let's sort of recap all the things I said last year in the previous video. What I will do is I will go through all the things that I learned from last year, and I will incorporate the things that I will apply this year. So let's get to it. First mistake was size matters. This has two aspects to it. First one was that last year I did not display clearly sample drawings that I had, either the portfolio or hanging. They were available in different sizes. I had to create a sort of like a price chart with the different sort of sizes of paper that I had available for it. But I made the mistake also of printing only certain type of sizes, bigger sizes for more detailed drawings, because I thought that people would see, oh, there's a lot of details, like for instance in the Stranger Things print, that I thought, okay, nobody will want an A5 of this because it's very tiny and you can't see all the small details, which is something I relish myself in art in general and something that I do apply to my own style and work. Also, it was hard because people don't tend to read. There's too much input from the artist alley. Their concentration is scattered, understandably. In general, you try to put it there, and you can also, sometimes there'll be only a certain amount of drawings that I can hang out. I can't hang out all of them. So I'll say, hey, there's more drawings in the portfolio, and that would encourage them, that would engage them into looking at the portfolio itself. Yeah, small tactics like that to sort of start a conversation, and also letting the client know that there is, other things. And the other aspect was that you have to cater to everybody. Most of the people that go to the artist alleys to buy things are mostly there to support local artists. So they will want to buy something cheap, affordable. I found out that I sort of had that option for them. For instance, I was only selling prints. I was only selling prints last year, and I thought that it's best if I also have a cheap option, something that is not very big. So this year I will be making stickers, and I'll talk more about that in the sticker section. So I recommend you to have the same amount of sizes available for all the drawings. Don't have different prints, in bigger sizes for more detailed drawings. Have them all the same, because if people want things a certain size, you gotta be able to give it to them. Food and water. The biggest failing as an artist alley researcher that I scoured the internet, mostly YouTube, looking for tips, recommendations for all sorts of information that I can gather from other artists' experiences in the artist alley. And I failed to anticipate the need for what essentially is a basic survival need for humans. Don't underestimate the power of snacking in the artist alley. Like, I heard of it, but I didn't quite internalize it myself, and I regret it, because when you are in the artist alley, you have very little time to, or you can have all the time you want, but if you want to do a good job, and as a salesperson, it's very important to have things that will take time off you from the booth, or the table in this case, to be minimized as much as you can. So if you can, and this year I will anticipate that, try to bring food with you, not only snacks, but also, sandwiches or actual food that you don't need to reheat, or maybe it can be warm food, but at least you won't have the issue of, hey, it's food time, where can we go? And all the queues are big queues and be a lot of time spent. And also, I've heard a lot of, eat healthy during the Comic-Con so that you don't crash or you try to maintain yourself safe. Personal recommendation, I thrive on sugar. I don't drink coffee. If you can and it pulls you through, then great. I mean, this year I will bring, snacks heavy on carbs and sugar to give me that edge. And then I can just crash when I go home. It's a very intense experience. Well, I mean, it can be as intense as you want, but for me, it was a very intense experience. You have to engage. You're trying to sell yourself as an artist. You print it and make a lot of things and you want to sell those things. So most of this time it requires that you engage with the audience. So energy drinks, all these things, you'll detox after the Comic-Con, but really having an apple, having those snacks that are healthier but don't really fill you up, having a salad for lunch. It might be a healthy option, but you gotta have energy. You gotta be attentive, you gotta be energetic, you have to be engaging, and you might have to stand up if you want to stand up, and salute people and then maintain a conversation. So you gotta have your battery charged in more than one way, I guess. Get there soon. So I don't know how other conventions work, but in Stockholm Comic-Con we have an FCFS table selection process. That means first come, first served, or in programming terms, FIFO, I guess, first in, first out. No, that doesn't add up. Anyways, getting there soon will allow you to choose the most optimally placed table. And the way to choose a table have to do with three main parameters that we'll go through now. So the first one is the orientation of the artist alley zone in regards to the rest of the main hall. Well, I'll use an example. I'll put a graphic up here. In Stockholm's Comic-Con last year, Artist Alley was on the northeast corner of one of the halls, right? When you get there, you have to sort of see, I mean, you won't be able to tell judging by the people because there will be no people when you go there soon the day before to choose a table. But you should sort of figure out what the mainstream of people will be, flow of walk that people will take. Stockholm's Comic-Con comes from south to west, or west to south, so that was the main stream of people. This will give you the orientation of sort of where the better tables are. Now, number two is the arrangement of the tables within the Artist Alley area. In the case of last year's Stockholm Comic-Con, it was an L-shaped table that covered the north wall and the east wall, and an island of tables in the middle. So, taking these things into account, the best choice for a table would be the area selected here. So, it's either west or south part of the island, or the corner table in the north wing. These over here are the best. Last year, I made the mistake of not going there sooner. The doors opened at 3 p.m. the day before, and it was first come, first served. I got off work at 5 and I got there at 7, and all the tables were mostly chosen, especially on the island. I put my table on the north side. There was the first table, the best table was already chosen, and not that one, but the next table. You would see that we were all just crammed on that side because it was the best way to look at the main hall or the mainstream of people. All in all, it wasn't the worst decision, but this year I'll get a half day or take all my stuff with me and then get there as soon as I can to choose one of the better tables. Now the third thing is the extras. So for instance, I didn't know this, but when I got to the Artist Alley, there were walls right behind us where we could actually hang posters, and I didn't know that, so I used both of the towers of my wire cubes because again, one of the recommendations is to put up high the work so that people from a distance can look and say, oh, what's that? Let's go see. Also for the people in the island, I think there was a wall to display things or to put a banner. I decided to this year put the banner in front of the table because it's more easily readable. I might put a QR to my website or my portfolio so that people can scan it. Another extra was the power dazzlers. When you come to the Comic-Con, last year I bought a portable charger for card reader for my phone because I anticipated that, even if there are plugs that they would be far away or there would be very few. But gracefully, the Artist Alley provided us with power dazzlers, and that made all the difference. In this case, everybody had one, but in case there's like one plug, there's something that you can sort of guide your decision. If you have low battery or your phone it's a bit old and its battery runs out. These are the kind of amenities, I suppose, that could also help you decide which table to choose. The fixes. Last year's biggest takeaway was, aside from that the biggest seller was one of my original artwork pieces and not as much fan art, was the success of on-the-spot art commissions. I would have not made my money back if I hadn't offered sketches or commissions on site on the last day on Sunday. Now, before my friend agreed to help me out, I had to contemplate the situation of having to go on my own and do the Artist Alley on my own. It would already been a challenge on its own when it comes to the necessary breaks, lunch breaks or the going to the bathroom breaks, but also it would have been a challenge when it comes to manning the table itself. If you offer sketches, you have to dedicate time to those, while at the same time the customers will walk by, and if they feel you're ignoring them them, or one of the bigger recommendations during the artist alley is not to use your phone or not to like be looking elsewhere and try to sort of seem available to customers. Even if they're perusing through the portfolio, you're attentive, but thankfully my friend's gonna be able to help me out on 2 out of 3 days, so I'll only have to worry about that one day. So again, how to solve the going by yourself if you didn't convince any of your friends or any of your family to sort of help out, or if you haven't teach your dog how to use the card reader, you can do one of two things. Either hire someone from Craigslist to help you out, and 2, to reach out to an artist either beforehand or at the artist alley the first day. I recommend sort of know someone beforehand, maybe get to an arrangement where if they're also going alone, then maybe you can sort of take care of their stuff for you and stuff like that when they require. The artist community is very welcoming and we're all in the same boat. We all have the same insecurities, the same fears, the same things that we found interesting and fun, and that's part of the experience too. Hopefully I wouldn't have this problem in the other 2 days, but on the first day it might be a bit of an issue. But hopefully I would set up the display in a way that it could allow me to attend customers and also offer the sketches. I will do a new display video rehearsal for you guys to sort of see and compare what I did last year and what I'm doing this year. Stay tuned for that. Let's go to the Artist Alley musts rundown. First, a portfolio and some sort of book holder to keep it up high. In this portfolio you can have either samples of your work that you don't have here, but I recommend you have samples of the drawings that you've brought with you, or stickers or whatever artwork you've brought with you, so that it can also be used as an inventory, so people can, if you can't hang all of the single drawings up, you can at least still have that portfolio that people can peruse through. And keeping it up high, it's a personal recommendation because capture the attention of passerbyers. If it's flat on the table, you know, it might be difficult for people to see. Number 2, smaller sizes. It is most likely that people will be carrying things on their hands, or they wouldn't have too big of a backpack to take with them. So I've spoken to other artists, they've also tabled before, and they've told me that prints sell pretty good, but stickers they sell like cookies. Smaller sizes are also very good too. I don't know if it's actually true because it sort of depends on the kind of artwork you work with. I found that most of the stock that I sold last year were some of the bigger drawings. So it depends. If your style is very detailed and it's more illustrative, it will lend itself more to a poster treatment. So I don't know if the whole smaller size will work with my sort of artwork. So that's what I'm trying to find out this year. 3, business cards. Toss them like a money. Woo! Nope. Go pick that up. We might live in a digital age, but people love a good old business card. Not only is it something physical and free that you can give away, but also it's great because you can not only provide one side with information, but you can also add a little drawing on the back. People actually quite like that. I think it's a fun thing to give away. And fourthly, offer sketches. They sell like donuts. But again, it's the balance of attending the customers and doing the commissions. You can actually do one thing, and that is to hear the commission and maybe sort of offer to be delivered at the end of the day. The new and improved. This time around, I got to fix what I failed to account for last year. Things like, for instance, a very crappy banner that I have to create the day before so that I can display it on my table, or for instance, provide an easier way to make the payment, you know. So this year, given that most of my stock is still unsold, yikes! The display structures, the materials, some of the markers, all the scotch tapes, everything else were part of the first-time investment. Now, supposedly the expenses of this year should be smaller. Nevertheless, given that I want to go that extra mile and sort of challenge the sort of business that I can provide and see what sells and what doesn't, this year I'm gonna try new things. I don't have it yet, so I can't really show it. I will get a banner with my name and some artwork around it, some designy sign, and I can put it in front of the table. And I also got into stickers. I have some guidance from some of my friends. I don't have any stickers with me. They're coming, I think, next week or the week after. What's up, you guys? Today, the day after I recorded all the video, I just received the stickers, so I'm gonna do a quick unboxing to show you guys what I did and with the pieces that I shown in the video, how they look in sticker form. So I first ordered only just 4 designs. Here they are. And yeah, let's see how they look. There are instructions here. Oh, there are instructions on how to react. Yeah, this is a Swedish company that makes stickers. I think they're pretty good. This is the stack, and this is how it looks. Let's see if the camera can focus or not. Yeah, and the other ones, I'll try to show them quick so this video doesn't extend too much. I now kind of regret not having sent only for one. I thought they would take more time to be shipped. This is the Mulan piece. I think they look pretty nice, all things considered. This one, it turned out the darkest. I don't know if because of the illustration, I had a darker background, so it made that more brighter colors pop out more. Now that it has a white outline, it looks a bit darkish. This is Blastoise. It's one of my favorite Pokemons. I feel like if these sell pretty well, I might do more Pokemon stickers, but this year I'm just testing the field and see how it turns out. There's a little concern because they turn out a little bit more desaturated than I expected, which is why I only order half of the designs. Because I had the same kind of issue with the prints, I have to saturate them a little bit more. I will have to do the same with the other stickers, but they look amazing. I really like them. So I'll pump up the brightness and saturate them a little bit more. Those are the stickers. Back to the video. Yeah, these are the designs that I've decided to make. I make the Hilda characters. I was gonna make more favorite characters, but these three took already a certain amount of time, so those are gonna be. I also did a Turning Red sticker sheet and some of the other artwork that I think is very nice. I've been made aware of the sentiment, there's a product for everyone, and I've tried to vary the amount of product that I sell. I won't be doing things like buttons, I guess, but stickers are still pretty cool, and I think there are some interesting shapes and artwork that could lend itself to that. I would recommend you sort of study or try to see if your artwork or your style lends itself to stickers. Another one is Swish, or any sort of mobile payment system. Last year I had to give away my number for the customers to sort of start the process with their phone. They were actually, some of them asked them, hey, do you have a QR that I can read? And I didn't have it back then, but this year I have it here, printed and ready. You can scan it and give me the money. This system, I think it's very useful because not only is it easy for the seller, you won't have to get a card reader which has its own taxation behind it. I also have to have it charged and then you have to use the card and whatever. Sometimes it goes through Bluetooth or sometimes it doesn't work. It's nice. This is a nice system to have and I think now it's everywhere. New business cards, shown them earlier, but these are here. And related to the business cards, last but not least, I mentioned a new way of getting the word out and sort of giving away a social media reach by making stickers that I could put behind prints, because the downside of business cards is that people do take them because they're free, but they might lose it or they might never look at it again. So I came up with a great solution, very inexpensive, I suppose. We have A7 size stickers and I was able to print through these, like this guy, see? You know, they have a QR to my Instagram and they have all my information, and I was able to stick these to some of my artwork, to my A6s, and they can follow me if they want. So that was something new and inexpensive, and if it goes really well and my followers spike, then I'll definitely do it the following years. And last but not least, beware of the consumer habits. One of the biggest takeaways that I got also last year is that I was able to contemplate sort of the shopping habits of people. Because essentially, you are sort of like a small store and people would sort of shop the same way they normally shop. I've taken the time to sort of see what sort of habits most of them have, and these are some of them. Offers are king. Nobody can resist a 2-for-1 deal or a buy two, get the third one half priced. Especially also if you're selling collections or collectibles. People love collecting things. I mean, if video games have taught us anything, is that people love to max out inventory and collectibles. That's how Pokemon is so addictive. Beware of the spiking attendees. You can sort of figure out once you've done the artist alley, or basically by logic, at what moments in the entire con and on each days you can sort of expect to have more people showing up. In Stockholm's ComicCon, Friday was a work day for some people, but for the others not. For me, it was not a work day, but the amount of people that were able to attend was lower than perhaps the other 2 days in the weekend. And also people prefer to go on the weekends. That's why Saturday, which is the most expensive ticket, is the day where there's most people. Also, I think it's because most of the main events take place on Saturday. Like maybe if there's like a massive guest that can come only one day, it will only be on Saturday. Or if there's any conferences, you know, there's a lot of events going on in Comic-Con, which leads me to also emphasize that's also another reason why there'll be more quieter moments during the day. So there'll be days where you'll realize that there'll be nobody almost. These times of the day will mostly be during lunchtime. If there's a conference and everybody's in the stage area, there are other events in the Comic-Con that is taking most of the attention of the attendees. identifying these sort of spikes of flow of people in the artist alley and in the con itself, it's also good to have in mind. On Sundays, it's basically the day where, and this is something again that many people do during each day individually, you'll most likely sell most of your products at the end of the day, because people would sort of scour, but they will come back at the end of the day to buy something if they remember. Some people didn't. They said, oh yeah, we'll come back later because we don't want to carry it with us. And that's a very plausible thing. I mean, if you buy an A3, especially I who sell A3s, you don't want to carry that around during the entire con, especially if you're wearing a cosplay or, you know. So on Sundays, most of the time, it's the ending of the con, so it's the last chance customers will have to get artwork from artists. So you would most likely sell most of your stuff during Sunday. And also, I think people reduce their prices or they give more offers as a goodbye to the entire experience. Now, my friend came up with a good business tactic, which is to offer for them to buy their product and for us to keep it for them, and they can come back at the end of the day. This has ups and downs. You know, the ups is that you are doing a favor to the customer, and the downs is that it is plausible that they might forget about it. That's why it's very important that they pay first and then you keep it for them. I don't know if I'll do that this year, but I'll keep it in mind for further artist alleys. Don't mourn a loss. Like Dumbledore once said, don't pity the ones that made a purchase, Harry. Pity the ones that didn't. And above all, the ones that live without your products. Or something like that. Sometimes, many times, it's possible that the customer won't go all the way, and you've gone through the whole process of engaging with them, having a small chat, they perused through the portfolio, they looked at the different sizes that you have, and then they'll just say, okay, thank you, and they'll leave. And you'll be like, bye. And most of the times it's not even your fault. So don't feel guilty or stressed out. Sometimes it's just part of the game, and you just have to make sure that you did all you could to making them feel welcome, to purchase their products, and worst case, you must have gained a friend or possible follower for your social media. So make sure you give them a business card and bid them farewell. The Batman v Superman paradigm. When it comes to designing the art to print, and I have gone over this on the video last year, but it bears repeating, I have this piece. It was based on the Batman v Superman movie. I took that choice to the people. I made polls in Instagram, in DeviantArt, for people to vote which of all my artwork they would feel would sell more. This one was one of the most voted ones. I had the most favorites in DeviantArt, the most likes in Instagram. But what happened is that I struck out. I still have every single piece of print of all sizes. This is an example of how you can study the market, you can study everything related to your... This is literally an artwork that had featured two of the most famous superheroes in the world, you know, Batman and Superman. Hopefully this year will be better. The last point I want to make is the value of passion. I said this once and I'll keep saying it, especially given how last year went in regards to this aspect. Your passion will shine through your art. People can see when a piece is inspired, when you have been emotionally invested. Obviously, all the art you make, you put your emotion and you put yourself into it, but people will see when pieces are inspired. I say this because you might feel the need to be trendy and to sort of appeal to the majority of people to get the most financial gain out of this experience. But the art community, it's at the same time big and at the same time small, and we're very loyal people. You know, you can see how when lately Hollywood has been mistreating some of the franchises, bigger franchises lately, and people have been very vocal about it. It's because we live things very deeply. So I recommend that you don't try to cater to the mass in that sense. So for instance, if right now The Mandalorian is a thing, but you've never drawn or you don't like Star Wars, don't try to cater to those people, because it is most likely that customers will approach you and have a conversation about that show and then have a very passionate talk about it. And I've had this circumstance last year. So for instance, at the time of making my stickers, I was going to make stickers of things that would be most sellable, I guess. But I decided to just make it of things that I like, you know. And another aspect that I feel is very important, and that it's pushing me to keep doing this, is that people react to your art. Regardless of the level that you have, or certainly you can't really contemplate selling products if you're not quite sure that you're in a level that, you know, that you look at yourself and you say, okay, would I buy this art, you know, at this level? But regardless of that, people react to your art, and they react positively, and in most of the times especially kids, they have no filters. And last year it was insane for me to see, because most of the times we're in social media and you see the reactions based on a number or a symbol in the down left corner of images that you post. Most of the times, because of algorithms or because other things, you don't get the exposure that you have. RIP Instagram for artists. all these people you'll see them firsthand in real life, how they react to your art, and I think that's really impressive and powerful. And the last point I want to make is make original work. Don't underestimate the customer, because last year actually my biggest seller was an original work of mine. For me it was personally insane, because I knew that fan art was the only thing that was going to sell, really. I mean, I have other original work that did not sell at all, because obviously people gravitate more to things that they know. But yeah, surprisingly, take a chance on your own voice and try to, I mean, I don't know what the rules will be when it regards to copyrighted material being sold there in the con that you're going to, but do give a chance to original work. So that's all, guys. Thanks so much for watching and for listening to me ramble. For those of you who have seen last year's video, you might have heard me repeat a bunch of things, but I thought about remarking it again as a refresher, but this time in a better camera. So yeah, I wish you the best of luck. For those of you who want to undertake this great experience, I highly recommend it. If you come by Stockholm's ComicCon, don't forget to say hi. See ya!